Chapter 9. Motivating, satisfying, and leading employees. This chapter discusses the basic forms of behavior that employees exhibit in organizations as well as the nature and importance of individual differences among employees. It also explains the meaning and importance of psychological contracts and the person-job fit in the workplace. Time-tested models and concepts of employee motivation are presented, and the strategies and techniques used by organizations to improve employee motivation are discussed. The chapter also includes information about leadership and its role in motivation. The various approaches to leadership, trait, behavioral, and situational, are discussed, and recent trends in leadership are noted. The learning objective of today's lesson is that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify and discuss the basic forms of behavior that employees exhibit in organizations. Describe the nature and importance of individual differences among employees. Explain the meaning and importance of psychological contracts and the person-job fit in the workplace. Identify and summarize the most important models of employee motivation. You will also be able to describe the strategies used by organizations to improve job satisfaction and employee motivation. Define leadership and distinguish it from management. Summarize the approaches to leadership that developed in the 20th century. Describe the most recent ideas about effective leadership. Forms of employee behavior. Employee behavior refers to the pattern of actions by members of an organization that directly or indirectly influences the organization's effectiveness. Performance behaviors directly influence how a job is performed, while citizenship behaviors provide positive benefits to the organization in more indirect ways. Counterproductive behaviors, like absenteeism, turnover, theft, sabotage, are those that work against organizational interests. Individual differences among employees. Personality. This refers to the relatively stable set of psychological attributes that distinguish one person from another. The big five personality traits are agreeableness, conscientiousness, emotionality, extroversion, and openness. Emotional intelligence refers to the extent to which people are self-aware, can manage their emotions, can motivate themselves, can express empathy for others, and possess social skills. Attitudes at work. Attitudes reflect our beliefs and feelings about specific ideas, situations, and other people. Attitudes have three components: cognition, the knowledge a person has about someone or something; affect, feelings towards someone or something; and intention, which guides a person's behavior. Job satisfaction. The extent to which people have positive attitudes toward their job. A related concept, morale, refers to the overall attitude people have toward their workplace. Satisfied employees tend to be absent less often, to be good organizational citizens, and to stay with the organization. Organizational commitment, also called job commitment, reflects an individual's identification with the organization and its mission. Highly committed employees see themselves as true members of the firm, overlook minor sources of dissatisfaction, and see themselves remaining members of the organization. Matching people and jobs. A. Psychological contracts. The psychological contract is the set of expectations held by the employee concerning what the employee will contribute to the organization, contributions, and what the organization will provide the employee, inducements, in return. It is likely that if the psychological contract is created, maintained, and managed effectively, the result will be a satisfied and motivated employee. B. The person-job fit. This refers to the extent to which a person's contributions and the organization's inducements match one another. Motivation in the workplace. Motivation refers to the set of forces that cause people to behave in certain ways. Many theories attempting to explain motivation and job satisfaction have evolved over the years. A. Classical theory assumes that workers are motivated primarily by money. Taylor's scientific management techniques, including time and motion studies, proposed ways for companies and workers to benefit from this motivation. B. Early behavioral theory. Studies at Western Electric on the relationship between productivity and the physical environment led to the unexpected finding that working conditions were not as important as other factors in enhancing employee productivity. The Hawthorne effect describes the tendency for productivity to increase when workers feel they are receiving special attention from management. 1. Theory X and Theory Y. Douglas McGregor concluded that managers made one of two basic assumptions about workers: either workers were naturally lazy and uncooperative, Theory X, or workers are naturally energetic and interested in being productive, Theory Y. McGregor generally favored Theory Y beliefs, and argued that Theory Y managers are more likely to have satisfied, motivated employees. 2. Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. See Figure 9.3. 5 levels of needs exist, including physiological, security, social, esteem and self-actualization. Unfulfilled needs can be met by one's work but must be satisfied in order of primacy, satisfaction, progression model. Filled needs are no longer motivating. 3. Herzberg's two-factor, motivator hygiene, theory. Herzberg found that job dissatisfaction is the result of a lack of appropriate hygiene factors and job satisfaction is the result of appropriate motivating factors. This theory suggests that managers must first ensure that hygiene factors are acceptable, to avoid worker dissatisfaction, and then offer motivating factors, to improve satisfaction and motivation. Contemporary motivation theory. Recently, more complex models of employee motivation have been developed. They are expectancy theory and equity theory. 1. Expectancy theory. This theory says that people are motivated to work towards rewards that they value and believe they have a reasonable chance of attaining. 2. Equity theory. This theory of motivation says that people will be motivated to engage in certain behaviors if they feel they are being inequitably treated compared to others. Comparison other, when considering the inputs and the outcomes, as long as the ratio of inputs to outcomes for each is an equal ratio, then the employee feels that they are being treated equally.